What's up, everybody? It's day 75 of 100 Days of Code, and it's your boy Kendall once again here to talk about what we've been up to, what we've learned, and sort of our thoughts and our feelings. First and foremost, we need to talk about the rules of 100 Days of Code. One, we code 1 hour a day. Two, we make sure to make ourselves accountable publicly to all of you fine people. And three, we make sure to share our thoughts and feelings. So, we all did this in conjunction and pairing with School of Code, which is the 16-week boot camp that I've been doing. We have now just finished officially week 11 of that boot camp, and I cannot believe it. The weekend is here. So, what did we get up to today? Well, today we had an introduction to AWS, which is Amazon Web Services, which is the cloud service they provide. Of course, is not the only cloud service that's available. There are other ones. There is Azure, there's GCP, Google Clouds. There's also Amazon, and there's a few others. But whatever the case, they're sort of the big players. So today we looked at AWS, and we essentially made our accounts. We learned how to do that first and how to set sort of a billing limit, that sort of thing, first and foremost, so we don't break the bank in what we provision. And when we do, we use the free tier as far as all that goes. And we learned about some of the services that there are available. There's a plethora of services that are available on Amazon, but the ones that we looked at today is we looked at AWS, AWS Amplify. And essentially, with that, what we did is we built a back end for our React front ends. So the back end was served by AWS and the database of GraphQL. So we use that, and in React, we use these sort of boilerplates and created an app on the front ends, which then, of course, created something pretty that you could see, and then you could enter in data. And then on the back end, that was provisioned by sort of an instance, which we span up in sort of the command line, the terminal of those sort of things. And of course, had to npm install Amplify, do that, so then we could use Amplify commands. And with those Amplify commands, then we sort of Amplify push, Amplify create different things. And using those commands, we did different things that then span up this back ends. We sort of put like what it's to expect and those sort of things. We added authentication to our code, and we passed in sort of the authentication of what to do, and that when you visit this provision site, that actually it asks you for authentication, and they have to enter it in first. And with that, we had to create different things in the background to make that happen. So yeah, it was really, really fun to learn more about that and, get stuck in with AWS. Sort of the thoughts and feelings that I have is I know in comparison to things we used before, where we could actually sort of use something like Heroku, for example, is quite good because obviously you can spin something up really easily. And you can, so for example, if I want a database, Postgres, there's a really good sort of GUI or a GUI so that you can actually bring it up. You can click on what you want and you can go that way. AWS is good because there's a lot of customizability, and there's a lot of ways that you can sort of you can provision things in different ways. So you can use different languages. You can use different computers. So you can basically spin up servers on AWS, and they could be different power capacities. Obviously not in the free tier, but if you were to spend some money, then you can get better things depending on what performance you needed. It spreads the data in a load balancing way. So there's a lot of benefits to AWS that I could see. And I don't know enough about the other services just yet to compare, but it looks really interesting. With Cloud9, there was ways that you could actually log into the instances of the computers on AWS, and then you could sort of make them do things. You could provision software, and you could provision code so that it would do things. So there was lots of interesting learnings that you could do. Um, Looked at IAM roles where you can assign roles to people who are using the same services, maybe the database that you were using. There could be different roles and permissions that were given as well. Things like that. So, yeah, there was a lot of learning. There was some coding. Definitely 1 hour was done today. Yeah, just a different way of deploying and a different way of provisioning things. So, yeah, so much to learn, so many services that I don't know anything about, but excited to learn more about them. My thoughts and feelings are there's so much to learn there. I'm really excited to get stuck into that a little bit more. I had a little bit of learning before because I'd done a bit before the course began. But my feelings are is that that is a lot. That's a whole new world in itself, and I think maybe I'll be at the basics for now. I'll learn what I need to know for now, but I know I don't need to be an AWS expert overnight. So I'm just going to keep learning what I need to know. If ever I get in a position where I need to learn more for provisioning other things, then I'll learn that as and when. Or if I have a role in that sort of thing, which I do have an interest in. I have an interest in DevOps, an interest in cloud things. So maybe it'll lead down the AWS path. I do like the system. I do like the way it's laid out. I do think it's very well documented, and I do think it's really interesting. So um, maybe I'll revisit the AWS certification and that sort of thing again, and learn more about it for Project Week. Lots of exploring and lots of study to do this weekend. Whatever the case, guys, have a wonderful Friday, whatever you get up to. Peace out for now. Day 75 of 100 Days of Code. Much love to you all, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.